Hey, Joe from CodeBlocks here, back doing another video. I just ran into a problem that beat me up, and so I'm wanting to do an easy one again. And I think I followed all the rules that we talked about last time um, correctly, so I read the problem twice. I did start trying to find rules a little too early, so I was kept trying to jump ahead of myself, and I should have just kind of watched myself solve the problem more. So I still got some practice to do. But even after I did it a few times, it was still just scrambling my brain, and so I stopped on it. And that was not anyone's in this email, but I am going to take a problem from their weekly code challenges email that I just think looks fun, and basically use it to train and to kind of practice on those guys. So I think it is good to try those harder problems. It's probably more beneficial than anything else, really, to kind of grow yourself, but it's also good and fun to just kind of do the kata, right? Keep practicing and get better. And I don't know, maybe I'll try another one later and post another video. So I'm doing this in JavaScript. We've got a class file master. Let's see here. I'll read it twice. This kata requires you to write an object that receives a file path and does operations on it. I'm going to ignore the Python part. The purpose of this kata is to use string parsing. Don't use the library. That's fine. We got some examples here. There's JavaScript 1. So we create our file master, and then we've got a couple of methods that output the extension, the file name, and the directory path, which is the path minus the file name and extension. Okay. So let's read this one more time. Requires that you write an object that receives a file path object, which I'm assuming is a string, and does operations on it. You cannot use, okay. So this one looks pretty good. So I'm just going to save this file path in my object. This file path, so I can access it later. And let's take a look at the tests first. So good. We actually do have a couple tests set up based on the examples here, which is really nice. So I'm thinking regular expressions just right off the bat, but I don't know that that's the right answer. I'm not real sure what the right answer is for things that have like, um, you know, multiple things after the period. So I'll just take a look at the examples, right? That's the second part, solve it manually. I take in a string. If I want the extension, then I look at the things to the right of the dot. So let's not worry about this case yet. We'll see if that comes up in the tests. Let's not get hung up on it. So that's pretty easy. The file name is everything to the left of the dot and the right of the slash. There could be some weird stuff with escape characters or spaces or something I'm maybe not thinking about or knowing about, but you know, not a big deal. Now their path is going to be everything to the left of the last slash. So that all sounds pretty good. Yeah. So let's pseudocode this out now. So the extension is parse string into parts. Okay. Take the last part, and it's based on period. Okay. What if something doesn't have an extension? So I would think that if it has no period, you should just return blank. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and pseudocode out these other guys in case we find some commonalities. So file name, we said parse string into parts based on the dot. Okay, now parse string to parts based on the slash. And then return the last item in that array. Okay, feel pretty good about that. Now the dir path, I want to parse strings into parts. Oh my gosh. Parse string into parts based on slash, and then return everything but the last item. So that handles the case where there's no extension. I think that's pretty good. Actually, that one sounds like a good one to start with, so let's just do that. This dot file name dot split based on slash, little character escape there. And I want to, what's the best way to do this? Splice modifies, slice does not, and I want to slice one off. And I want that to be starting at, that's not what I want though. So I want everything but what's sliced off. So I want to start at slice, and then start at the beginning 0, and return everything let's see here. Parts.slice, everything but parts.length minus 1. So in this case, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 items delimited by slashes. And so I say, giving everything starting at 0, 4 minus 1 is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So I actually want 0, 1, 2 here. But I think that's actually okay. And I think since I'm going to need this parts in every single method, I'm just going to do this. Say this dot parts, and so I've just got it. Save me some typing, it's always good. Well, not always. In this case, I think it's acceptable. Now, I've only done one of these tests. It's not file name dot split is not file path. Try that again. Parts is not defined. This dot parts. Okay. Looks pretty good to me. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. That's JavaScript for you. So I expected an array to equal, and that's because I'm returning an array. And I need to join these guys by those slashes. And I've got my slashes going the wrong way here. And also here. So let's try that again. Alright, this time I got blank. What did we do wrong here? This the parts that slice 0 going to parts.length minus 1. Just the number 2. So I want to slice out from 0, that's just 3, going 3, and I want to join it all back together with slash slash. Let's do some cheating. I'm not even going to try and do the shortcut. Or dot split. Okay. Hey. What the heck? Wrong way. Even that is wrong. There we go. Interesting, it put a blank in the beginning, which is okay. So let's see how we did our split up here. Need a bigger monitor. So we split based on slash slash. Okay. Should have just been slash. Alright, now expected. I've got everything doubled up. So where I do my joining, I escape the wrong direction. Let's try this again. There we go. Expected blank to equal blank, and they got an extra slash there on the end. And I think that's probably just the oops. Keep doing that. It's easy to slide that guy on there. Yay, we got a test passing. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and break this up on other lines because I got my stupid console. I guess we can just close the console, right? But, let's do this anyway. That is pretty ugly. Oh, I just discovered that save runs. That's nice. Good to know. I just wanted to see the examples for now, though, because it's not a finished product. Now, over here, extension seems like the next easiest one. So what I want to do is take those parts, and I want the one stop parts dot length minus 1. So I want the last item. All right, and I'm going to split that last item based on a dot. Let's see. I call this file parts. And let's get rid of that return for now because I don't want it. I just want an array that's got my file name broken up into 2 parts. So I don't know why I copy and paste this. Would have been faster just to type it. So now I want to return. Now this is the kind of the tricky part because I am worried about the case where there's no extension. So if file parts dot index of dots. So if it has an index is greater than -1, then I want to return file parts at file parts dot length -1 in case there's multiple dots. Otherwise, return nothing. Okay, and somehow I ended up with nothing here. So let's take another look here. File parts, I took the parts that we got in the constructor and took the last item and we split it by period. And tell you what, let's do this even more broken down. Call this file name equals the stuff parts dot length -1. So it's the last item in that array that we broke up based on these slashes. And we take that file name and we split it by the dot. Okay. And then we take that file parts and, oh, that's because this shouldn't be file parts. It should be maybe file parts.length, but file parts is an array. So if the length is greater than 1, then return the last. Otherwise, return blank. Okay, that looks good. So we've got the extension. Now things are looking pretty good because file name is even easier. So we get the file name, which is the last item in that array. We don't care about splitting. No, that's not true. If the file part length is greater than 1, then we need to return. Yeah, this is not as easy as I thought at first. This is not the easiest one. So if the file parts does have an extension, then I need to return everything but the extension, right? So we need to do a little slice in action here. File parts dot slice. We want everything from the get-go to dot length minus 1. All right, and if there is no extension, then we just return file name. Right? Try those examples. There we go. Feel pretty good about our solution. All right, now let's get rid of these comments and think about optimization. I mean, just from a repeat yourself point of view, I could take out the file name parts into the constructor, and so that the methods are just really dumb. But I kind of feel like in this case, it's better to leave it because you may not call more than one of these guys, or you may not call extension or file name, so you may never need to do that work. But in every case, you do need to break up the path by slashes. So I feel good about that. So let's go ahead and submit, and all right, woohoo! Very satisfied. That was fun. All right, take it easy.